Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Samantha. So we're here, huh?
Yeah, there's 4 people in the waiting room. Hendrik
Oh, good.
and Marcia and Diane.
Okay. So let's see, that would be a quorum, I guess.
3 members. I
4.
think we need 4.
Oh, are you getting an echo from me?
No, I can hear you okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Hi. Yeah, we'd have to have 4 people, I think, for quorum.
Yeah, 1 more.
How are things with you, Dr. Schultz?
Good. So far, so good. I like the
Good.
numbers, how they're looking now. So I
Yeah,
hope eventually we can talk about other stuff.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Marcia.
How's everybody?
We're still awake.
Can you guys hear and see me?
Adam, you are always at the most interesting locations.
I'm at Hoover Elementary at basketball practice tonight for my son, so.
Sandra, I think you're muted.
Here we go.
There you go.
Good evening, everyone. The special meeting of the Board of Health is called to order. It is 6:30. Samantha, would you call the roll, please?
Hendrik,
I
Marcia,
Hi.
Amy. Here. Adam,
Here,
Tom,
Present.
Sandra,
Here.
and Jess just joined too.
I'm here.
Good, thank you, everyone. This is the time allotted now for public comments. Anyone may address the board on business that is on tonight's agenda. We have provided 3 minutes for anyone for each person who would like to speak. So if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand if you'd like to make a statement or say something about business that is on the agenda tonight. Do we have anyone that would like to say anything?
Sandra, it's Ann McDonough. I don't know if you can see that my hand is raised on the back wall there. And you're now muted.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, thank you. My name is Ann McDonough. I live at 2469 Whitetail Drive in Asbury, Iowa. And I just wanted to make a brief comment about the job description that is being discussed tonight. And that is, it does not have anything about strategic planning or departmental planning. And the China HIP is not a strategic plan. I have the current one in front of me here, and it states even in its purpose paragraph, it's a statement, it's an assessment of local health needs and report, identifying the goals and the strengths and the weakness of the health of the community. When I talk about a strategic plan or the need to hire someone to help us do a search and someone to talk about this at high level, it is about the department. It is about the Board of Health and the department. So that is not the China HIP. So I would ask you to consider that having your new director work on that is about the department growth, the restructure of what you might want to accomplish as health board members. And that's what I just want to stress with you. You know, there was conversation at one time about even merging the county board of health with the city health department, the city of Dubuque, which is the only other entity in our county that has a public health department. So really it's more about relationships and within the department and within the county and our major stakeholders. I'd also ask you to consider hiring a public health consultant to work through the hiring, the questions, the scoring. And I would encourage Samantha tonight to bring forward those ideas. I know she discussed this with the City of Dubuque Health Director, Mary Rose Corrigan. My next point would be to please make space for your strategic partners to be part of your hiring process. That's not me. That is the City of Dubuque Health Department, Stacy Killian from the VNA, Eric Schmeckel from our watershed department in the county. Those folks have strategic purpose and interest in a hiring and a scoring of the folks that you'll receive resumes from. And I just want to give you a final note, examples of where the county has done this recently. When we hired a new Sunnycrest director, we asked the Sunnycrest trustees to participate. They run the property. We are responsible as supervisors with the person who does the nursing care and the executive director of that department. That was a critical piece, and it helped us find the proper and the correct person. We have a great fit there. We did the same thing when we were hiring a countywide disability services coordinator, a department director. We asked Chris Corkin, who is heavily involved in brain health issues and serves on the Community Foundation of Greater Dubuque. We asked her to serve with us, ask questions, help to score, was part of that discussion as a strategic partner to be sure that we were getting outside community input and high level so that we were sure we were getting the right fit for the needs of the county at the time. So I'm just probably my 3 minutes and look forward to listening to your discussion this evening. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else? All right, I don't see any more hands. Do you, Samantha?
No, I don't see any either.
All right. Then let's move on to the approval of the agenda. Are there any suggestions to modify the agenda tonight?
Sandra, this is Tom Beschen.
Yes, Tom.
I believe in our discussions with the county human rights director, we talked about the possibility of needing to do some advertising that is outside of the norm. I would like to add that under discussing the interview process to maybe allocate some dollars specifically toward advertising.
Okay, is that a motion, Tom?
Yes, that is a motion.
Is there a second to that motion?
This is Jess. I would second.
Thank you, Jess. Is there any discussion? I will just add that, yes, we do, we may decide to advertise on some boards, like, I don't know if this one is under consideration, but monster.com, for example, they charge something, and there are some boards that do charge. So I thought we should maybe talk about budgeting some money for that. So thank you, Tom. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, then let's go ahead and take the vote, Samantha.
Okay. Adam,
Aye.
Hendrik,
I,
Tom,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
and Sandra.
Aye.
7 motion carried.
All right, thank you. So we will add to the agenda under discussion, number 5, discussion, we will add a B, and that will be a discussion of budgeting for some cost in advertising and obtaining a new director of the Department of Health. The next item on our agenda are action items. And the first one is a discussion and approval of the job description for the executive director. I wanted to just say that since this went out, we have made some corrections to typographical errors and some grammatical errors. There is one substantive change to the proposed health director job description, and it's under qualifications. And if we want to keep this change in there, we'll have to have a motion and someone will vote on it. What? Okay, so the addition, what we changed under qualifications is it had said that there was a we wanted a master's degree or higher in public health, health administration, or other applicable field from an accredited college or university, and 3 years of experience in a public health program, or an equivalent combination of education and experience. And what we've done is just take the 3 years of experience in a public health program. So if we want to keep that in, I do think, just to be totally clear, then we should have, someone would have to make a motion to keep it that way. Otherwise, we'll put the 3-year requirement back in there, but we just didn't want to pen ourselves in too tightly. And so I'd like to also state that I think that the Supervisor McDonough's suggestion about adding something about strategic planning and planning for the department would be an important thing to add. So let me just open up to discussion. Is there?
This is Tom. Yes, I think that adding the strategic planning and the for the county as well as for the department is a strong issue that needs to be present in this new director. I just wonder where it belongs. Is it under examples of duties? Is that where it would fit, or is it under general definition of work?
Just an opinion, because I think it's a high priority, maybe we should put it in the general definition of work.
I agree.
And perhaps even both.
Yep.
All right.
The other comment I wanted to make on the years of experience. I mean, I don't know if it's feasible, but sometimes when I read these kind of job descriptions, it says something like 3 years of experience are desirable or are preferred, or something like that. That you say it's not an exclusion if you don't have them, if everything else is okay, but it's just something that we want you to have a little bit experience. So I'm not opposed to putting that back in, but maybe make it less exclusive in the wording.
I support that too, Hendrik. I believe we could be a little overly exclusive if we specify that you have to have a master's degree and 3 years of
Yeah.
experience.
I mean, the master's degree, I think just based on the basics that you need to know in public health, I think that makes sense. But then work experience is something, depends on where you're at. You might be up to speed in a year, or you might be up to speed in 10 years. It depends. And so I think that's not a hard criterion for me.
I guess it depends on what what that 1 year or 3 years may have involved. If it
Correct.
involved wallowing through a pandemic, I think that's a lot more meaningful than 3 years under normal conditions.
True. Tom, do you want to put those two changes in the form of a motion?
Yes, I would. I would move that we add under the general definition of work that leads strategic planning for the department as well as the county health planning, and that under the qualifications, we eliminate the minimum of 3 years experience and just say experience in a public health program.
Is there a second to that motion?
This is Hendrik, I second that.
Is there any further discussion on those two additions?
Just that I think it's going to take a little crafting, and I would look to Dawn for some help on that, given her background in the HR field.
Okay, yes, that's a good idea. Let's take the vote then on that motion, and the motion is to make two changes to the job description. First, adding lead strategic planning for the department and for the county, did you say, Tom? And
Yes.
and then also under qualifications, rather than saying that we are requiring a master's degree with 3 years of experience, we're changing that to a master's degree with and experience, just not mandating 3 years. Okay, we can take the vote on that then, unless anyone has questions.
Okay, Adam,
Aye.
Hendrik,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
and Sandra.
Aye,
7 motion carried.
thank you. Now, are there any other ideas about revising this job description as proposed?
This is Jess. I do think that I'm noticing now that we did not mention collaboration with the city of Dubuque and Mary Rose Corrigan's department. So I don't know if that should be added where we note collaboration with other organizations.
This is Tom. I would state that under examples of duties, work under the second last paragraph on the first page, oversees development of community health needs assessment, works collaboratively with Unity Point Health, Finley, Mercy One, Visiting Nurse Association, City Health, and Crescent Community Healthcare Clinic.
You're right. Sorry, Tom.
I don't know if that covers it, but it's already stated in that.
Okay, any other discussion concerning this job description?
I'm wondering if we need to add into that bullet point with all the listing, if we need to add disability and mental health services and Hillcrest.
Hillcrest. And what was the other one?
Mental health and disability services, the county department.
We do interact with Hillcrest, and
It seems like that would fit in that second to the last bullet point on that first page. That list, perhaps.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
just add them to the list.
yeah,
Would you make that as a motion then?
Yeah, I move that we add Hillcrest Family Services and Mental Health Disability Services of Dubuque County to the list of departments in the second to the last bullet.
And
Thank
I
you.
second that.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on this motion? Hearing none, let's go ahead and take the vote.
Adam,
Aye.
Hendrik,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Tom,
aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
and Sandra.
Aye,
7 motion carried.
thank you. Any other ideas to improve this job description?
And I have just like two small tiny things that I don't know. I mean, they're not huge, but like Board of Health in the general definition of work is the acronym BOH is used the first time and then it's spelled out the second time. So the second sentence can just be BOH.
Okay,
It's a minor detail. And then in the 8th bullet point down, we should spell out IDPH just the first time it's used. Like we did that the rest of the document as well. So just minor stuff.
okay,
I didn't see on this new document, but the 13th bullet point under examples of duties, it just said, yeah, DNR was just switched around there. I assume that got fixed perhaps, but I don't know. Oh, yep, it's fixed now. Okay, perfect.
is it, okay.
And I don't know if we have to slap EPA in there, if DNR is just enough. I don't
I
know.
think it is.
Those are
I'm
just
not
my
sure.
minor changes.
Okay. Would you like to put that as a motion also?
Yeah, sure. I'll motion to make those, yeah. Slight changes, Board of Health, BOH the second time, spell it IDPH the first time, and that's it.
Okay. A second to that?
I
Aye.
second that.
Okay, let's go ahead and take the vote. Or any more discussion? Okay, let's go ahead and take the vote then.
Adam.
Aye.
Hendrik.
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Sandra.
Aye.
7 motion carried.
Okay. And then before we approve the job description, are there any other ideas to improve it? If not, then before we have someone do a motion to approve the health director job description, let's move on to the approval of salary because that's listed right there. So it's approval of the salary for the executive director. And as you can see, it was listed as 80,000 to 110,000 annually. Is there any discussion concerning that range?
That is not including health benefits and IPERS, et cetera, correct?
That is correct. That's base pay.
Right.
I wonder-
Salary.
I wonder if that needs to be base pay or base salary. I don't know. It's kind of a minor detail, I suppose.
I see Dawn Sherman is on, and I think we could ask her that question. Dawn, do you think we should put something like that that says base pay on the job description, or?
I think, yeah, we can put that base pay in, an excellent benefit package. We can put something together to provide a little bit more detail of what our benefit package is when we do our posting as well.
Okay, and that maybe wouldn't necessarily go right on this job description, but it'll go on the posting.
Yeah, we can do one or both. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because this does specifically say salary. So I think that clarifies that it's salary only, doesn't include benefits.
Okay, so, so as it's written right now, it says salary and then it says 80,000 to 110,000 annually. Does someone want to make a motion to make that more specific?
I'll make that motion that we include somewhere in there about the benefit package that will also be included with the base salary.
Okay,
Is
is
that
there a
what you're
second?
asking for?
I
This is
second
Jess.
that.
Okay.
Is there any further discussion? So, Amy, I think what you'd like it to say is salary, and we list the salary as an annual salary, and then say something like excellent benefit package included.
I think so. I think just anything to, entice the best candidates to the job. And
Sure.
the more transparent, the better, in my opinion,
Sure.
for doing so.
Okay, and is there any further discussion on this motion?
This is Tom. I guess we're looking at this not having had a brief look at the comparative salaries for the other 4 counties in eastern Iowa that have a similar, although a little bit bigger population. I have every belief that, moving forward, this could increase, based on responsibilities, based on, further salary study. I think it's what we know at this point. I believe it's a good estimate. I believe it's a salary that will entice candidates, but I still think we're somewhat on the low end of the continuum. I think we should move ahead with this.
Okay, so are you making a motion that you would approve the salary at 80 to 110,000?
That's correct. I would move that we approve the salary range of 80 to 110,000. And were there other things that we needed, and include Amy's suggestion about the description of benefits to accompany it?
Okay, is that modification of the motion okay with you, Amy?
Sure.
Okay, is there a second to Tom's motion?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Then the motion is that the salary that we've listed here, the salary range, 80,000 to 110,000 annually. And we'll add plus, we'll say something about the benefit package. And go ahead and take the vote on that motion.
Adam,
Please.
Aye.
Hendrik,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
and Sandra.
Aye,
7 motion carried.
thank you. So then just to finish this part of the action items, is there a motion to approve the job description for the health director as modified tonight?
Hendrik, I make the motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Is
This
Adam
is
else?
Jess.
Oh, sorry, Jess.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt the job description for the health director as modified tonight, and along with the salary as discussed and approved tonight. And let's go ahead and take the vote.
Adam.
Aye.
Hendrik,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Marcia,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
Sandra,
Aye,
7 motion carried.
thank you. Now, the next item on the agenda for discussion is first, the interviewing process and the Board of Health involvement. And we've added a discussion about costs. And I guess also we can discuss something about a public health consultant. And since Dawn Sherman is on with us tonight, she can maybe give us some advice about that too. So let's just start with the interviewing process. When some of us called the other counties, we got an idea of what their interviewing process was. Did Tom or Adam or Amy, do you have any ideas from the other counties? Or any ideas? Does anyone have any ideas about how they would like the interviewing process to go?
I didn't specifically ask about that, but I do think as many of us as could be involved in the process would be beneficial.
Yes, I mean, I think hopefully we can all be involved. I mean, as many as are available to, you know, attend the meetings and things, but I think everyone should be involved if they can be.
Yep, I agree. And our partners as well. Think of I don't know whose suggestion was before, but different layers of people involved in the interview process.
Right. I can give you the example from Johnson County because I spoke to their director and she was just hired last August, so it was real fresh in her mind. But she had 4 interviews, and it started with the Board of Health, Human Rights or Human Resources Department, and then the business manager. And I'm not sure that this county has a business manager, but we might have a similar person. So that was the first round. The second round was with, it was a panel of community partners. It also included Human Resources and the Board of Health, but the Board of Supervisors were invited. There were people from the public, the VNA, and the Region 6 representative, Becky Nowacek, and others that would be specific to our county, like perhaps the VNA, maybe the city director of the Department of Health, and that's something we could discuss. But that was their second tier. And then there was a third interview, and again, that was with the Board of Health and Human Resources. And then the fourth interview, each candidate gave a presentation. Now that was to the staff of Johnson County because they have over 50 staff, but this could be a presentation just to the Board of Health, for example. And the topic that Johnson County had them each speak on was the most important issue in public health today, I think it was. So, so that was what one county did. And I think if it's okay with everyone, I'd like to ask Dawn what kinds of ideas. Thank you, Dr. Schultz. Dr. Schultz has to leave. So Dawn, what kinds of procedures have you used in the county for other professionals that you've hired?
Since the Board of Supervisors is the hiring authority for like our Sunnycrest administrator, our disability services director, they were an active part in that. And I know it was mentioned earlier that we did invite some of our outside partners to participate in that. At a previous job that I had at a city for our police chief, our fire chief, our economic development director, and even our city manager, we did have multiple interview panels. Ultimately, they're there to give the hiring authority feedback, but I think in each of those cases, it worked really well. You know, having this person interview with the partners that they're going to be working with on a daily basis is great feedback for the Board of Health to hear. So I do believe in the multiple panels. I think it works well for you to make, as a Board of Health, to make an informed decision to get that right fit.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, Dawn, before we leave you, would you want to say something Supervisor McDonough gave an idea about a public health consultant. And I don't know if that would be exactly, it's not really a headhunter. I don't think that's what the supervisor is talking about, but do you have any idea like how much that would cost or anything like that?
Yep, in a previous job, I also utilized those for our city manager position. Some of them will do a flat cost. Many of them nowadays, I researched this for our Sunnycrest placement, is that they will charge a percentage of the annual salary, somewhere usually between 20 and 30% of the salary for the position. So in this case, you're probably looking at $20,000 or $30,000. They do have their benefits. If you find the right consultant, I like to say they have their Rolodex of candidates ready for you. So you're not just passively waiting for people to apply. They're going out on your behalf. They know people who, have the education and experience and may be looking to make a career change or a lateral movement. So there is a benefit to that, but there is a cost associated with it.
And then if we had a consultant get involved, that would be a procedure that would take a few months, wouldn't it? Or how long does something like that take?
Well, with our procurement policy, because we do have to, for any services between 5,000 and 50,000, we do have to receive 3 quotes. So it would be probably a group reaching out, determining, what consultants have experience in placement of healthcare managers or directors, or even more specifically, public health directors. Doing some interviews with them and getting those quotes for our procurement policy. So that is going to slow the process down, but it needs to be done to fulfill our procurement and to ensure you're finding your right consultant for this placement.
Right. Okay. Well, does anyone would anyone like to make a motion about the interviewing process and the Board of Health involvement and or hiring a consultant?
I would like to make a motion that we hire a consultant. We want to make sure we have the best person possible and have the best group of people possible for this job, since this is kind of a whole new era that we are embarking upon, perhaps, in Dubuque County Health. And I think that experience and expertise would be a very good thing for us to have from a consultancy firm. So I would make the motion that we hire a consultant.
Thank you, Amy. Is there a second to that motion?
This is Marcia. I'd second the motion.
Thank you. Is there any discussion concerning this motion?
Go ahead, Tom.
The only question I have regarding this is if we begin the process of working with a consultant, and through our own posting, we came up with a candidate that is outside of this consultant's scope, are we still locked into that consultant?
I don't know the answer to that. Dawn, do you know the answer to that?
I believe you most likely would, because you would have a contract with them. I believe you would still, there may be some provisions in there that would have maybe a reduced fee. But I would anticipate that if you identified someone and had them go through the process and ultimately was appointed, that there would be some still costs that you would be liable for.
Okay.
This is Jess. I have 2 questions. First, where does the funding for the consultant come from? And then my second question is, could we think about doing kind of the consultant track and our own posting simultaneously? If we have to get 3 quotes and kind of go down that path, is there any harm in actually posting it at the same time, or is that not allowed when you are contracting with an organization?
Thank you. Dawn, do you have any answers for those questions?
I just want to make sure I understand the question right. Are you looking to maybe start the internal recruitment, just doing our postings, and in the meantime, maybe doing some research and interviews of the consultant, using them and ultimately not even needing the consultant, or you may go through your process and not find the right candidate, and then but you have a consultant ready and lined up? Is that kind of what you were looking for, Jess?
Well, yeah, just because you said, you have to get the 3 quotes and it can take a little bit of time. So I just didn't know if there was any harm in posting it on our own at the same time that we are kind of going through the process of getting quotes.
No, I don't think that would be a conflict of any policy. It may even be great because you may find your perfect candidate and not have to resort to paying a consultant to find that candidate.
Yeah, this is Marcia. Jess, I like that idea. Because it sounds like it'll take us time to find a consultant, and while we're investigating a consultant, we may as well start looking for our candidate and maybe do well on our own.
Chair, do you mind if I make a comment at this time?
You can go ahead, Supervisor.
Okay, so we used a consultant when we hired May Hinchin as the director of the East Central Regional Governing Board. Mental health has changed in our community because we hired May Hinchin. We got the right person, paid the right wage, and we did that with a consultant. Okay, that's the counties did that together through the governing board. When you do that track, you're willing to pay that because you want the questions. You want the full services that the person is going to be able to give you about what your need is and who's in the marketplace, and they may even know people. So I would not start a parallel track. We can do a request for proposals that several weeks as compared to several months. It will not take that. We can get that up and going, but that's the person you're going to rely on again and again and again to get this right to the finish. They're going to make the offer. They're going to tell you how likely it's going to be. They will just, you will get full service, and you'll also learn a great deal about how you recruit someone like this. It will make you all better in your professional lives as well. So I just, Samantha, I don't know if you have anything to add. I think you started doing some of that research with Mary Rose Corrigan, just about, how these questions might be structured, what kind of level there might be of help from a consultant's perspective.
I did some pretty basic level research, but I do know that another contact, if the Board of Health decides to go the consulting route, is Becky Nowacek with IDPH. And she's worked with many other counties who have used consultants when hiring directors or other public health positions. So I think that would be a good contact to make as well. And I did send those resources she had forwarded on to me to Sandra and Mary Rose as well.
Right. And when we used the consultant to do the CEO hire, we ended up with, as I think most of you know, May Hinchin, she lives here in Dubuque. So we walked all the way around and we hired a person right here in Dubuque who's phenomenal and has changed brain health we lead the state now in that, such as it is. So you can certainly end up with your hometown kid, but it's a whole different ballgame. Some folks are not going to want to step into this unless they know that it's going to be high level. At least that's been my experience. You looking for these very high level hires.
Thank you. Jess, did you want to make that as an amendment to the motion, or after this discussion, shall we just go with the original motion? How do you feel about that?
I guess I'm still in favor of parallel tracks. So I would make a motion to do parallel tracks in terms of hiring.
Okay, and the motion on the floor is Amy's motion. Amy, do you want to make that modification? Do you want to accept that modification of your motion?
No, I want to go with the consultant. I don't want to do it two ways.
Okay.
I think it's muddying the water, and a consultant in that is the expert. and they know what they're doing. They know exactly the right people to contact and to draw into the pool. And I
Okay.
don't think we know that as a board.
Okay, so what we'll do, the motion that's before us right now is just to hire a consultant. That's been moved and seconded. And then Jess, if you want to make a further motion after we have a vote on this motion, you can go ahead and do that. Okay, so any further discussion on the motion that's on the table?
This is Tom.
Yeah.
I like the motion that's on the table, and I plan to support it because, you know, I believe that the consultant brings the credentials to the party that we can lean on. You know, we can learn from it, like Ann said, but we can also hold the consultant accountable as a board. So.
Yes, all good thoughts. Tom, do you happen to know the answer to Jess's other question? And that was, where does the money come from for the consultant?
I guess there would almost have to be an amendment to our current budget to bring
have
that
any-
forward.
Thank you. Do you have any comments on that, Supervisor McDonough?
Sorry, when Sandra, when you were there and Samantha made the budget presentation, I think there was, we have 3 supervisors here, so I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to give my assessment. And I believe we had consensus that we will support what you feel you need. So, you know, when you, and Dawn can help you go through those logistics of, and our budget director, we do have a professional budget director at the county. So this can also be asked of Stella Rundy, you know, how this will land with your budget, our budget, and how you would go forward with that.
All right, thank you. Does that answer that question, Jess?
Yes, thank you.
All right, we can go ahead and take the vote on the motion that's on the table to hire a public health consultant to help with finding us a new director of the Department of Health.
And just so everyone's aware, Hendrik and Adam did sign off.
Okay,
Marcia,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Jess,
Aye.
and Sandra.
aye,
5 motion carried.
okay. So let's see, I think, so I think that kind of takes care of that section because the consultant will be consulting us about who's going to participate in the interviewing and everything, but so I think we're finished with that. Number 6 is the Board of Supervisors, Board of Health Liaison. Do you have any further comments, Supervisor McDonough?
I just would like to tell the whole board, there were some that were not able to be at the budget presentation, but Samantha was amazing. She set forth the budget for the for the health department very well. And then Sandra spoke, and again, just very high level. And Tom, you were there and presented your wealth of knowledge about the grants that we are awarded as a county. So it just was, I don't want you to feel like there's weakness right now. There really is combined great knowledge and skill. So the budget presentation went very well. And I believe tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be talking again more about the budget. And I've been told by the budget director, there'll be some discussion about the Board of Health's proposal to add more folks to the department. So I don't have any anticipation of what that might be, but if anyone's around tomorrow afternoon, we're going to start up on Zoom and in person at 1 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Sandra, I can send out that Zoom link to the board.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe it was posted today on by the Civic Notifier or whatever that is.
Thank you, Tom. All right, our next meeting is February 16th, 2022, and I believe that's at 6:30. And it will be via Zoom because due to the prevalence of COVID-19 in our community, it's not practical to meet in person at this time. This is the time for public comments. Anyone may address the board on matters that are of concern to you and which are not agenda items. Please raise your hand on Zoom, state your name and home address. Please be aware that the board is limited in their ability to respond to such inquiries, and the Iowa Code prohibits the board from deliberating or acting on items not appearing on the agenda. Again, we have allotted 3 minutes for each person to speak. Is there anyone that would like to say something tonight? I don't see anyone. Do you see anyone? Samantha?
No, I don't see any hands either.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion for adjournment?
This is Jess, I'll motion.
Thank you. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning? Say aye.
Right.
Aye. Anyone opposed to adjourning? Say nay. Hearing no nays, it passes and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next week at the next meeting, okay?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.